Hey, Juglone. I see Moon is here already. How we doing, Moon? Um, Tonight we've got a show, so I'm trying to see if I can watch this on YouTube as well. While I'm doing this, we're gonna be on my phone tonight, which kind of sucks, but because I don't know the ins and outs of this guy. So, oh God, okay. The ins and outs of this. We'll turn that off. It's on like a 10-second delay or something. That's bizarre. Um, but yeah, Moon is here. That's good. Someone else. I think it was me. Now I'm not watching myself anymore. So guys, first thing I want to do is give some shout outs to my awesome patron people. Um, so we've got patrons old and new. Actually, they're all old. Everybody's been around for at least 3 months. But we've got Ryan Pavey from Springtails US. More on him later. We've got Dope Critters, who I thought didn't like me making fun of him, but I guess he did. I called him Dope Kittens. I don't know if you guys remember. We got Don Gallagher, great friend of the show. 10K's here. What's up, bud? And then Wesley. I don't know for sure who Wesley is, but he introduced himself once and revealed himself as Wesley, but I don't remember what his secret name is. So I need to learn Moon's actual name. I need to watch a show and see if he outs himself at some point. We got shout out to everyone in Nebraska. All right, yeah, that's cool. Shout out to Nebraska, I guess, and my friends in Korea, South Korea specifically. So I don't know any South Korean. I was gonna say Ming Hao, but I don't think that's anything actually. We got Justin, we got Sandy. We got a lot of people here, so that's good. We got a lot of the regulars, three people, which I'm grateful for. So some of the patrons we've lost, which for various reasons, I know some of them. Some are for good reasons, some are for less good reasons, some are I don't know. That's fine. It's inflation. But we've got Pelly, Carl Callwood, quit the Patreon so he could put that money towards getting people health care. And if you all want to quit to get people health care, by God, do so. We got Miles, Vika Bubbles, Menagerie. Those are the old ones. So we're still looking for more patrons, guys. We're down to just a few, which I mean that still speaks volumes to me about how much it's appreciated. But yeah, we've got a couple of topics tonight. One of the topics I want to discuss is that I think is a big problem right now for my friends in the industry, the isopod industry specifically, and probably going to be Springtails, but is flippers. So I've talked about this on Facebook. I've talked about it a little bit when I had Ben Quintana's on, and a couple other people. We've mentioned it and touched on it. But I think it's time to out these guys as flippers instead of just waiting for people to stumble upon them and hopefully ask for recommendations. So they are so bad to the hobby and exotics keepers as a whole that hey, Frank, how you doing? Glad you could come by and say hi at least. I know you'll watch later. But yeah, I think that it's getting serious. I know at least a few people who are getting out of isopod sales that are super people running super businesses. We're going to talk more about them at another date individually, but they deserve a shot, and these flippers are really keeping them from doing that, from reaching their potential. So and they're messing up the hobby. They don't know where their bugs came from. They don't know anything about them really. They just know that they can make a little bit of money on them, and it is fairly easy. So, and then when you can buy them in bulk from people that are either leaving the hobby because they're being pushed out by flippers or personal reasons. So they get things at a bulk price and turn around again and release them for a super discount. So, and I get that. Like, it's great to sell, to save money. So hard to tell who a flipper is. It is hard to tell, which is why I think we need to keep the community strong and talk about it with each other so we can know who the flippers are. There's a lot that people know of already. And what I think of as a flipper is someone who buys wholesale or in bulk, like a collection, and then sells it for super cheap. Like they got it for cheap, so they're selling them for super cheap. They're not keeping them. They're not breeding them. themselves. They're just doing that, or they're the brown boxer who's getting in illegal shipments or sketchy shipments and flipping or selling those under dubious circumstances, which causes a whole mess of problems for the hobby. It could cause real legitimate sellers and importers to have a lot of problems because they are going to get cracked down on more because of these jerks that are doing things basically illegally. So I think the brown boxers, the flippers, it's time to start talking about it. It's time to start outing them and find a way to verify. Hey, Coral, find a way to verify these guys and get them the hell out of the hobby. So, or at least minimize their sales. If they're not making sales, they're not going to stick around. So if we can do that and build a community that way, build back up with good sellers, good breeders. Yeah, I know of a few right now that are either in the works of getting rid of their collections and their business, or have done so, or are deeply considering it. So, and that's a shame. That's a shame. These are good people that are doing a good thing, and they're getting pushed out, not by like, I don't know, like big business, but by some undercutting turd that wants to make a quick buck at basically everyone's expense, the entire hobby's expense. So, yeah, I get it. Cheap things are good. I'm cheap myself, but that's basically why I don't have anything. It's basically why I love Armadillidium, because they're pretty much cheap, right? Tomorrow is a very special day for ISO Buddies as a whole. We are going to be filming at the Shed Aquarium. The raid spray I mentioned on Facebook. Oh, that was you, Frank. Got a few critters in my collection. Frank, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's horrible. Hey, Major. Yeah, it's a good Mountain Dew. It's almost done, so I'm just gonna sip at it. Sorry, I'm really stressed out over this flipper thing. It's really driving me crazy. Rod's here. Awesome. I have a customer whose last name is Sprague. Apparently, he's no relation, Rod, at the bank. I can't say his first name, but yeah, Frank, I didn't realize that was you, man. Yeah, I would definitely sanitize as much as you can. If you can get your animals into other setups that weren't affected, just to make sure, and sanitize everything beforehand. That's crazy, and that's just kind of amateur advice. I'm just trying to use some like common sense stuff that may or may not be common sense. And if you're watching and you don't know, Frank had a friend apparently who sprayed some kind of bug spray in his or near his bug room. And I only know vague details, but it affected some of his stuff apparently, and he was wondering how to best go about keeping it from spreading or keeping it from being a problem. So recommendations were large ventilation, fans to get air movement in there, get it out of there. I was sketchy about fans. I thought it might move it into the tanks. But that could work, like to dilute everything out of the air and get it out of there so it's not sitting there stagnant. So it's like column A, column B, I guess. There's no great answer. My personal recommendation was to wipe everything down, every surface in the room that you can, and to make sure your hands are clean, super clean, before you put your hands into a tank or feed or whatever. Oh, that's right. It rhymes with egg. I'm sorry, Rod. I called the customer Spragu too. He wasn't a fan, but I kept a straight face like, are you sure? That's not how it's pronounced? But yeah, so I recommended to keep your hands as clean as possible, keep everything clean, and now obviously I just recommended to get them into unaffected clean tanks if possible, or enclosures or tubs or whatever, till you can just get rid of everything. Lost a blue tongue skink from a natural ant spray. Yeah, I mean, they're still toxic. These sprays are still toxic. You got to keep that crap out of your room. That said, I've used a bug spray and those little apple looking, you put I forget the name of it, taro juice. It's like this awful liquid that smells like vinegar in there to attract the fruit flies and the fungus gnats, and it worked, and it hasn't affected the ants at all except for the ones that escaped. So they got some of them got murdered and clogged up the trap. So personally I prefer the sticky traps because once in a while they get stuck on my cat, and that's just funny. So it'll teach them to be nosy and get into all my stuff. Yeah, it can be really hard to do pest control and have the animals that we have. Like a lot of them, my policy, I know I love ants, more on that in a bit, but I don't like uninvited ants. Does that make sense? Yeah, the liquid baits work really well, and it kills them kind of on the spot. So they're not going to travel it to your other animals. They're not going to generally run it into any of your other enclosures. So starting to get a phobia with bug sprays. This keeps happening to me over and over again. Who in the hell is spraying bug spray in your house, Frank? Do you mean to come over and slap the shit out of somebody? Like, that's ridiculous. I'll sneak a waffles into their pillowcase and give them nightmares for the rest of their life. That's just crazy. Yeah, only the cool ants get into the club. They start to invade everything. Like, ants are pretty rough because they'll invade everything. They get in your cat food. You don't know if they've got a toxin on them, so they could get it into my cat dish, you know, so, or my collections, because I've had, when Sheila escaped a couple times, like, well, some of her escaped. She attacked the tarantula. She attacked other bugs. She wiped out some springtails because she got into one of the enclosures and one of the jars that have the open jars. So the isopods is full of springtails. They ate all of those. It's crazy. It's crazy. So be careful with your stuff. Keep it contained if you can. So I'm not super climbing up the window and into your house. Yeah. I had him climb up to my second story apartment. You can see the trail go all the way up. I mean, obviously I'm not there now, but you can see the trail go from our front yard, the street basically, all the way to our apartment building and then up the wall to our apartment. And I sprayed all over the place, and you can see the trail just go around where I sprayed. That's pretty wild. New queen ants sometimes flying them in bioactive enclosures. That's kind of cool. Frank, if they tear their wings off, you can sell them, maybe. Put them in a test tube. Let's see. I happen to have one. So I caught 3 ants in one day on Sunday. So this is one of the new girls. I don't know if you can see her. She's right here. She's right there. Let's see. She's got a little debris in there because she was hesitant to come in. She's feisty. So this is Lucy. This is Lucy. She's one of the new additions. So I got 3 queens in one day. I don't really know what they are yet. Lucy had a wing and she tore it off. So that's good news. When they pull their wings off, that's good news. Second story? Oh, yeah. They didn't mess around. And it was all for my cat food. Like, that's what they were getting into. So it wasn't like my house was that sloppy. This is Joy. Let's see. You can see Joy there by the cotton ball a little bit. Borax powder works really well. And it kills them kind of on contact, basically, or deters them. Really good for fleas. And then I have another one. She's kind of, I guess the water thing I gave her didn't work too well. She's alive, but she doesn't look very happy. So I'm leaving her alone for now. But yeah, 3 in one day. So I'm an official ant keeper now because I could see them. I'm 6'4", and I saw them on the ground from eye level. So I recognized that it was a queen ant immediately. So these are kind of bigger. I think they may be Camponotus. I hope not. That's just because I want to keep a small ant now. A smaller one that I can keep more contained and not have 130 gallons worth of space and a canopy. And oh, you can see it. Let's see if we can see if they found the, oh, they haven't found it. So in this hanging jar here, there's a frozen thing of brine shrimp in there that's probably not frozen anymore. So I don't know if you saw the short the other day, but let's see what we can do here. All right, we're going to catch one. I'm going to put him in there. Oh, he didn't go. Okay. I'm going to put him in there. There he goes. Or she goes. Oh, there are a couple in there. Okay, good. Looks like it's kind of under sand, though. All right, so there's a couple in there. They're checking it out now. They're scoping it. They might have to unbury it. So we'll check back in a little bit and see where they're at. So, okay. So what was I talking about? Tomorrow, shooting at the shed. I got so sidetracked. Biggs is coming down from Canada, or he is down, and he's going to come down from Madison. I should do a tour of all my animals. I'm not in any shape to do that right now. It's kind of messed up right now, so I will, Major. Let's see. I don't get ants biting or stinging my animals. Yeah, you do have to get the ants out of there if you can. Yeah, diatomaceous earth. Yeah, my problem with diatomaceous earth is they can carry it for a little while and get it into your stuff. And I'm sidetracked again. So Biggs and I are going to go to the shed. He offered to come down and visit, and Biggs is one of those guys, like, I have a lot of friends that I don't know why people are my friends, because like they're above my weight class as friends, right? They're just great people. They're like mentors, kind of, you know. So to have Biggs make a trip from Canada, he was taking it anyway, but to come down and visit with me is pretty cool. To make that effort, that's a really cool feeling. Now I want to give a tour of my animals. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we can do. Pardon the mess, guys. I've been in a lot of, you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of, this is going to be the studio here, okay? That's going to get pushed back a little bit, the hanging thing. There's going to be a bunch of stuff hanging on there. We have isopods in here. This is the Armadillidium bodium Casteldacia. I call them cookies and cream. There's one. There's one right there, actually. There's a couple. These guys I fed. How are we doing in here for water? Pretty good. These guys I fed. This is just in here for to keep a little more of the hopefully water in there, water content, to keep it from evaporating so fast. But it's doing pretty good. The bottom inch basically is water. So we're happy. I fed them the food that I got from Ben Quintana's. I was trying that out and it worked pretty well. So I'm pretty excited about it. So Skeletor, obviously King Skeletor. This is seeds from my harvester ants who died. Obviously this is the caterpillar from Oz, or from Oz, from Alice in Wonderland. This little tank here, I don't know if you can see, but these are my Opeula shrimp. There's about 30 or 40 in here now. Oh, here's a bunch. There's about 30 or 40 in here now. I don't know if you guys can see that. I hope so. I started out with about a dozen, a 10 plus, which was 12. And 3 of them came buried. So a buried shrimp, berry like you eat the berry. I do have an open lid tank. So buried shrimp have eggs in their abdomen, or under their abdomen, okay, laid eggs. And they sit there until they hatch. And these guys are kind of like planktonic. They hang in they're not really shrimp. They hang in the water column. But they're doing really well. They're super easy to keep. What is that? Is that a bug or something on the top? Oh, that was a shrimp. Okay. Yeah, and they just eat basically this algae. I have to get a better light in here. And you feed them like once a week. And they just chow on that algae. This is Gamaris. There's probably a few in here. This is my Gamaris tank. This was a vernal pool tank, and I think the Gamaris outcompeted most everything. So we're going to try and get that to be something else soon. Here's 2 more open top isopod tanks here. This is sandstone, Armadillidium sandstone in here. Or no, I'm sorry, this is Paracai. And this is Gastroy. You can see probably this here is an ant barrier on the outside. So that keeps the ants from getting in mostly. But you can see like it's missing here. This is Margot, who is not out. She just ate, so she's probably hiding. She's kind of loving life. We just misted, so with the heat cable, it's under and on top. It comes up and takes care of itself. Let's see. These are springtails, orange, tie red, and orange. This is nothing right now. These are my isopod bins, most of them. And that's about it. That's my collection, except for Sheila. Oh, here's the newts. They're working on, well, they were going into a 55, and now there's one right there, actually. They were going to 55, and then I broke that. This was the fish that are in the 100-gallon now. This is Sheila. I can't see any questions right. Oh, she felt my breath. Do you see that? I should be able to hear her. I don't know if you can hear that over the bubbler, but they make an actual noise. Aquariums and paludariums always scared me. They're awesome. Ooh. She chewed her way out of Pennsylvanicus. So yeah, this is their sugar water. This is my little goofy armadillidium thing. This is, oh, you can see there's some progress here. So yeah, they go from the canopy all the way over. There's another feeding cup. They come all the way down and then into the 30-gallon. This is the original. It's the OG tank here. I just gave them this piece of wood. And you see that reaction immediately. She's so defensive. Yeah, you can definitely hear that. I don't know what's making that sound. You see she lives in the waterfall here. There she goes again. She's got a little satellite nest. So what I've determined, I may be wrong, but these ants at least will guard their resources, is what it looks like to me. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. This is the second little area that she has. This is the bridge that goes off the, this is the little cord that goes to the canopy, and then the bridge that goes over, which this was an impulsive move on my part to have it go back and forth. So she is burrowing into the log, which is awesome. And I wish I had better light. I'll see if I can see the fish. There's a lot of tannins in the water. We've got white clouds. We've got giant Daniels in there somewhere. Some cory cats. There's some ghost shrimp in here too, actually, that are still around. I just saw one today. But these ants will steal the fish food. So, who's leaving? Oh, Frank just showed up. Yeah, Frank, good luck with the bug spray. That sucks. Keep people out of your house, maybe. I'm going to turn this light off, guys. Okay. Yeah, so if you want help designing a really cool ant farm, and I can tell you tips that I didn't use that you should use to make it better, yeah, don't totally eyeball things. Set things first before you actually set them. Like, make sure that they're going to set right, because that sucks. That log is not how I kind of want it. Yeah, Sandy, it is pretty elaborate. I was thinking of even doing tubes that would go through the ceiling and then down to other areas, like the top of this shelf here. Have some kind of outworld there where they could get to. But that's a lot of work. That's adding a lot of work. I might do that if one of these three takes off, one of these other three queens takes off. You never found your ants. Coral's escaped. Coral had Pogonomyrmex, was that right? Pogos? But I love my ants. I haven't had any success just raising a queen. So when Sheila came to me, she was an eBay purchase for I think $100. It was her plus like 35 workers, I think, and there was brood and larva in there. She had eaten the eggs again, but there was some cocoons and some larvae. And so I started to feed her, and I almost immediately put her into a small setup that I had 3D printed. I'll be using that again, so I'll show that in videos. And then I Frankensteined a bunch of stuff together for her that really worked well for a time. And that was while I worked on the 30-gallon. So the 30-gallon took me 4 months to complete, and then the 100-gallon took me another like 2. Oh, meadow ants, that was it. But they were seed eaters, right? Coral harvesters. But yeah, so Sheila had a big leg up in the world. I'm trying to get a pogo colony from Josh Christinat. Shipping some ants in the U.S. is legal major. So if you go to tarheelants.com, they have like almost 10 species, I think, now that they can ship. They're in the continental U.S. So they are insects and honey. Nice. So it depends on the species. So Pogonomyrmex occidentalis, there's a couple Pogonomyrmex species that are shippable within the United States. You do need a permit, but it's easy to get, and it's essentially free. Camponotus pennsylvanicus, the large carpenter ant, they're like one of the biggest ants in America. There's a few others I can't think. I think Camponotus discolor, which is what Sheila is. She's a large ant, but she's a medium Camponotus, right? So Josh Suds. What's my favorite native ant to the U.S.? Sheila. I would probably say it's shared with the Mexico is the honeypot ant. That I don't know the Latin name of the one I'm thinking of, but they're the good size honeypots that get like their gasters get to be like half a dime, and you can eat them and they taste delicious and like candies basically. That's not why I love them, because they're candies, but it's just such a cool thing. Like they just decide, like, hey girlfriend, you're gonna be a pantry, and then they turn her into a pantry. And something's beeping. Sorry guys. Okay, I think it's nothing. I hope it's nothing. But that's probably my favorite. Second would be, oh, you know what? Second would be my Trachomyrmex. I don't remember the second part of the Latin name, but it's a Trachomyrmex. It's a tiny little fungus ant, and they don't really climb glass. I have eaten them. Josh. When I was in Florida, somebody had them as a treat, like a street food kind of thing. It was like a dare kind of deal. Just a weird situation, but they were fine. They were weird but good. My friends and I usually aren't too hesitant to eat bugs if they're already been eaten by somebody before us. So I'm not going to throw random bugs down the hatch. But the Trachomyrmex, they're a small ant, like 2 or 3 millimeters, maybe. I don't even think they're that big. And they can have multiple queens. My colony had like 8 queens, I think. That was what was told to me. I couldn't differentiate these queens from they were a random person's ants. They could have been laced with something. That could be the new drug thing, like feed it to ants and eat your honeypots. Eat some drugged honeypots. I'll have to come up with a name for that. But I tried to set them up, and I got a little bit ahead of myself on setting them up in a more natural situation, and I killed the fungus, and that killed them. So it dried out, and I'm not an ant farm. That's how high you would be. Like, woo! Yeah, I'm not an ant farm. But you are. Fentanyl. Why is it always fentanyl with you, Justin? Always fentanyl. This guy, I tell you. Yeah, so that's my, you know what, that's my favorite, because they were peaceful. They would literally faint, like they would play dead. I called it fainting. They would play dead to deter predators. They couldn't really climb glass. They can. They don't attack at all. They don't bite. They don't spray. They don't have anything that they do. That's weird. The only thing that was weird that they did, that they needed bigger space, I think, because they spent a lot of time looking for a garbage pile, or a place to put a garbage pile, or a graveyard. So you would see them walking around with dead ants. If one of them died, they would be walking around with it for hours. You would just see them wandering around with this dead ant in their jaws. But they were really cool. I hope to keep them again. They're native to Illinois, a little part of Illinois. Mescaline ants. That's way better. Or tequila. If we could feed them like mezcal, that would be dope. Probably my third, I guess, would be leaf cutters. Those leaf cutters with those giant queens and the big big, horrifying majors that draw blood. Like, they literally draw blood on you. Mine, it can't really draw blood, but if they find a tiny cut on you, they attack it immediately and spray that acid in there. So it's like getting lemon juice in a cut. Bad times. It's not good times. Another sip. Yeah, so that's good. We're going to do some good filming tomorrow. We're going to edit that video. It'll be here and there. I don't know about you guys, but it's fun. Like, here's the thing. Like, the opportunity to go to the aquarium with Biggs, not only is he, like, a super expert on fish, he going to do the dishes with his stream running in the background. Nice. It's a dish-worthy stream, I think. But anyway, what's nice, I think, about going to, what I'm excited about going to the shed with Biggs is, like, this is his jam. And it's kind of my jam, too. Like, I love going to the aquarium. But we do like odd hobbies. But I don't ever get to go with anybody that's as into it as I am, right? So the conversations you wind up having is like, oh, that's a cool fish. Oh, that's a pretty fish. Oh, jellyfish, look. It's not anything in depth. And I'm not talking about, like, crazy in-depth details or, you know, scientific craziness, but it'll be nice to be able to go and be excited for different things about the animals other than, like, oh, that fish is pretty crazy. Just found a gecko on the ground. What? Dude, it took off while you were typing. Go find the gecko. What the hell? Major. Yeah, what are your hobbies, Rod? What's a dream species you want, wish you could work with? Not necessarily ants, just in general. Oh, a dream species. That's a good question. I think we're going to talk about that. Yeah. That was the topic. Thanks, Tennyson. Someone did homework. For me, it would be the giant Thyropegus. There can be 14 inches plus. What is a Thyropegus? What is that? Is that a bug? That's a millipede or something, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Cool. I kind of recognized it. Thyroid pigs. All right. Yeah, millies are cool. I think one of my dream things I would like to work with, if we can unlock how to keep them, is the pill millipedes. Those big jade ones from, I think they're from Thailand, somewhere in Asia. They're like a golf ball size. So, but we can't really keep them, so it's not tenable. But if it was a dream, I can dream that I cracked the code and figured it out before I even had any. So, but I would love to keep those and share that knowledge. Basically, spewing Latin names. Well, they're on the signs. I can sneak around and look at the signs. Africa, the big green ones are from Africa. Hey, man, I don't know. See, I don't know much. I thought they were Asian. Everything cool is from Asia. Mexican mole lizards. They're actually deregulated in the U.S. Was deregulated the millipedes? The Thyropegus you're talking about? Thyropegus? Thyropegus? Thyropegus. There you go. I got it. Building a fuser to test my idea for a better than practical fusion reactor. What? Building a fuser to test my a fusion reactor. Okay, man. Keep us posted on the fusion reactor. So Rod's a super genius who watches this show. The largest pill millipede. Yeah, they can be kept in captivity, but, like, are they going to breed? Like, are they kept in captivity or just, like, slowly starving to death? Because it takes them forever to starve to death is the problem. Kept cool. I mean, I could do that in my basement for sure. It's always like 65, 70 down here. Yeah, Major, we want to know what kind of gecko this is. You got to post pictures in the ISO Buddies Facebook. Kept because no one really finds males. Oh, okay. All right. Weird. They only live a year. And no one's found like a gravid female? Yeah, just snap some pics, Major. They migrate. There are other large pill millipedes that will breed, though. There's a couple. One of our guys from Germany, or it might not be Germany actually. I think that's another guy I'm thinking of. But Lars Meyer keeps them. He's in like Croatia or something. I'm totally wrong. My geography classes are failing me. But he's got some really pretty ones, like mostly glamorous, but from Europe that are really, really cool. Like the ones that look like strawberries, like unripe strawberries. That's the ones I want because I think they're just a cool color and everything. But I would love to keep pill millipedes. He's German. There you go. No, they're not the big ones. I mean, they're bigger than isopods, but they're not the monsters. There you go. Yeah, Lars is the German, and then there's, I can never think of anyone's name. It'll come to me later. But the other gentleman, we are not talking about termites. It'll come to me later. Shoot, it got away again. Just let it eat the stuff in your house, man. Let it eat bugs in your house. Oh, they did kind of crack it. So they have to be kept cold. Where the hell do they live in the wild in Madagascar that is 60 degrees? I didn't realize it was that cool there. Yeah, major geckos are crazy. Good luck with that. 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Like you'd have to keep them in a mini fridge. Or with your winter ants, which is something I'm trying to find again. But I missed the nuptial flights. Archiblata hovini. Boyja. Plan to keep Boyja anyway. I don't know what Archiblata Boyja is. No one has bred the giant Madagascar species. We are talking about some great stuff. Rumplemares are pretty large and colorful. Yeah, yeah. These are all good. See, you guys know too many Latin names. I need the. We're working on the Gigamorphus rambambashams, what it actually looks like. So it's gonna be fun. There's not a species like it. I'll tell you that. There's some similar that have qualities. Did you catch her, Sandy? Did you catch the baby? Helioglomaris. Glomaris. I love that we're talking about pillipedes. They are one of the things that I would love to keep, but I want to keep regular millipedes well before I go ahead and do that. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, don't get old kneecaps, guys. My 5-year-old daughter is starting to emulate old people problems. She was complaining about her back yesterday, and it's hard with a kid because you don't know if they're being serious or not. Like I had knees when I was a kid. I had growing pains because I was so I shot up like crazy, and yeah. So now she's complaining about her knees, but Daddy complains about his knees. So I'm like, are you serious or are you emulating? Get some Onomaris. They're really easy. Okay, I'll look around and see who's got them. I don't know where they would be by me, but that sounds cool. That'd be a good starter. Basically like keeping an isopod, right? But with like flake soil. Honestly, I would probably take the soil from their wherever I caught them. Take just a box of it. Throw that in there. Let them have what they have. Search through for any predators, maybe. Silver the Supa Haka. All right. Oh yeah. All right. Hey, Silver. I was about to be like, you're out of here. I was about to kick your ass out. That's so funny. I was like, not today. Gonna start selling us porn links or something. We had that problem when we first started the channel, and it's kind of gone away, which I'm kind of upset about. I thought that meant we were headed somewhere. If we had attracted the porn hackers. Oh, see, I'm in Illinois. I'm not going to find any Onamaris. Maybe. Yeah, see? Silver, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because I got, I got mods now. It's different now that I know how to do it. Yeah, I want to see some cool new species. I think there's aquatic stuff. Did you guys see the link I posted to the freshwater jellyfish? They're actually in Illinois. I want to see if I can find some. I think it would be great when I go snorkeling again. I want to see if I can find some in a lake. So, a nice clear freshwater lake. You know what I'm saying? Breeding ant crickets. Oh man, I think that's hard, Rod. If you don't have ants, because they basically they trick the ants into taking care of them. So, which is cool. Possibly you can find someone selling them, but not too sure. Yeah, these freshwater jellyfish are like maybe the size of a penny. They're harmless, except to like copepods, freshwater copepods. Kevin might know who has them though. Alan will definitely know who has them. So those guys are top shelf. Yeah, it would probably involve ants. It's like those snakes that people were talking about, the blind snakes, the little ones that eat the ant larva. So apparently they eat like dwarf white crickets and pinheads and stuff too. So I was thinking about getting them. I want to get something to help keep the population down over here. I was gonna maybe I'll go look for a toad later. Someone who sells what, the pillipedes? Is that what we're talking about? I had an ant specific isopod that I got from the isopod chick, and she has the coolest stuff. Like randomly, she just finds like the weirdest stuff. So sorry about that, guys. That was dizzying. And she'll let them be for a while, and then I haven't seen one in about a year. They were breeding, but they're about the size of white dwarfs. I don't know that they weren't white dwarfs, and I just paid extra for them. I trust Isopod Chick, though. I think she's pretty solid. But yeah, I've had some misadventures with these ants. They at first hunted springtails, snacked on them, and then just decided to ignore them. They ignored isopods for a long time, and then I started feeding them less. But they decided to eat them because I was kind of rationing her protein, and she had other plans. So, Orin, I could reach out to Orin for Glomerus pulchra. Those are good ones too. This is like the Pillipede episode. I'm gonna have to have Lars back on. You get LAG? What's LAG? I don't even know what that is. You guys are way over my head, as usual. Tenzon's like 15 years old, and he's way over my head, way past my my level. Major, you gotta just let that gecko go. Where the hell are you at? You just have geckos running around loose in your house. You gotta be like Florida or Georgia, Alabama. Something like, oh, live arrival guarantee. Yeah. I mean, that's like everybody. I know you're like 18, dude. I tease. You know this. Okay. All right. LAG, live arrival guarantee. If you want actual leg, just get it through USPS. So it'll be there late. No live arrival. It took almost a month to get 4 action figures from eBay because they were in transit for a month. They got to their destination in about 3 days, and then they sat for. I'm glad it wasn't anything alive. Sprinted right through my legs, disappeared right in broad daylight. Yeah, they're no joke, man. The geckos, and they shift serpentine. They shift all over the place. Sad, man. I would just let it go. If I didn't have cats, I would have a live house gecko running around the house, taking care of whatever got loose, for sure. Maybe some kind of gecko would eat some of the ants too. We'll have to see. My new challenge is going to be for the other tank that I'm building for the morning geckos. Aunt Sandy and Russ are going to donate a couple each to my project, but it's going to be, it's up in the air again, but it's going to be morning geckos in the land, and then in the bottom is going to be about 6 gallons of water, so I'm going to have like 5 pea puffers in there, 5 or 6 pea puffers, and maybe a pair of vampire crabs. Not like a sexual pair, but like 2. two of them. If they're a pair, awesome. If not, I'm not like looking for that. So Orange just not known for shipping skills. Oren and I have more in common than I thought, I guess. He's a great guy, but he is definitely a bug scientist. Like, he is a weird dude. He is an odd duck. I love him. Speaking from experience. Yeah, this is why I don't ship anything, really. It's not good. All right, so we got it. We got it. Get the LAG from the ORIN. I was going to reach out to him for something recently. I don't remember what it was. I have such a bad memory. The ADHD is getting off the charts here. Keep slightly hungry horned lizards around the house to eat the ants. Well, they don't get out enough to have them. There was a setup for horned ants or horned lizards that that I saw that was awesome. So it had like the tank for the lizards was here. It was like, I don't know how big, but they had a hole in the bottom and it had a stick that came up through the center. And then LF, how are we doing, LF? New face, maybe. So the ants, whatever they did, they put that into an ant tank that was underneath, and the ants would climb up. And as they climbed up, the 2 horned lizards would just sit and pick them off. Well, they didn't have 2 tongues, but they would just pick them off as they came up. But I think you would have to have like 5, at least 5 successful ant colonies before you could do something like that and just switch them off. It would be really cool. But to go to all that trouble, the trouble would be for the ants, and then the horned lizards would come second, but it would be very cool to see that kind of setup. But you'd have to be doing it for everything involved, not just like, oh, I have ants and I need ant control. They need too much. I'm thinking of actual just like outdoor toads. One of those guys, because I've got tanks now that are empty, and throw some in there with them. Leopard pattern carpets. Yeah, no, that doesn't help. That does not help. Oh, Leia, okay. Speed 100. A few hundred for ISOs from him. All were fine and dandy. Oh, from Oren. Yeah. I mean, if you get a reputation, I've shipped 2 things and they both sucked, so I've got a reputation as a crappy shipper. But I had that, I had that little heart-to-heart live with Rachel, and we're all good now. Question for you guys. We're at close to the hour mark. How did you find the channel? There are some people, that's annoying, I'm sorry. There are some people that I am deeply curious about how they found this channel, because we are so tiny, but I have such a varied, intelligent audience that like, it blows my mind. And I just am curious, like, how people found it. Like, I've found some of you myself, but there are some people that have showed up that I was blown away that they're here, right? We're not the smartest show out there, right? We're not. I'll never know. Silver, I know you showed up for Tennyson, and you know that now that we're fun. So Kevin About Flake, that was a really popular episode. Doug M and Facebook, okay. TJ, nice. Just had TJ on. Coral from the Facebook group, okay. She showed up for the Facebook, stuck around for the YouTube, fell in love with the Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, speaking of hobbies, we have Dungeons and Dragons, we have miniature painting, we have cartoons, comic books. Community is brilliant. I love this community. And that's kind of how it started, is I got involved with isopod groups because of the community, and then had a falling out with one of the communities and started my own, basically, and ISO Buddies. And then that steamrolled into a show. Well, it was live stream, not live streams, but live chats first, where we just did Facebook Live. Not Facebook Live. What am I saying? Like the rooms, the chat rooms, where we would do that every week, every Wednesday. Then it was twice a week, and then it kind of exploded, and we stopped doing them. In a live chat with Russ or Wally's stream, I thought you were funny. That was, I don't know which ones I've done. I think I've done one with Wally. I've definitely done with Russ. And those were great. Those were so much fun. Find you through Russ. Okay, a lot of people have come through Russ and Wally, like Frank, Coral, or not Coral, Menagerie. I think Dope Critters, Wesley. I found Ryan through other people, Ryan Pavey. Vika Bubbles, I don't know how he found us. But like, okay, Rod through Russ. I kind of pirated some of their audience. So, yeah, not pirated, but lured them over. I just was curious, like how people are finding the show. If you're just watching this later, leave a comment in the down there part. So some of you, the bigger names, I found them. I guess my origins. I found Russ. I found Wally. Go and take pictures of the score, please. Quality. I hunted down Oren. That was rough. Let's see. I went after Rachel, Cheyenne, ton of breeders that I initially dealt with. Texas Panda Gecko or Common House Gecko. Going to finish the dishes and grab a flashlight. There you go. How did I find Tennyson? Tennyson, you found me. You found me. I saw you in the chats talking about your, oh my God, how come I can't think of it? Categorizing the animals. Like, oh my God, I can't think of the word. I'm so fried right now. Work has been crazy. But yeah, you were here and you mentioned about how young you are or something. I remember that coming up. And then I love talking to the young crowd, like the people that are coming up in the hobby and the next generation, I guess, because there's so much happening in the hobby now. It's changing so much from when I was first in taxonomy. There you go. There you go. Classification. Classification was the word I was looking for. Taxonomy is good. Yes, it was a list. So those words. Everybody's looking out for me. Thanks, Leah. But like coming from where I was, I think I've talked about it before, but where the hobby was when I came in was like the Wild West. And now it's getting so organized and you can't just pick up random insane animals you have no business keeping. You have to find, like, I saw buddies as all generations. You have to find someone who is a seller and has permits and like, case in point, like Sicilians, right? So the basically the snakes of the amphibian world. You have to find someone now. You can't just like pick those up somewhere. Sometimes at a show, you'll find a guy who has one or two, and usually those are the sketchy people. They have like 5 of everything. I'd want to get like references from somebody like that. Have I gotten bugs from anyone I've interviewed? Yeah, a lot of people, Josh. So let's see. The first person was Pod Solo, Cheyenne, then Wally, then Rachel from Pet Peds and Pods. I slowly killed some of her millipedes. I shouldn't laugh about that. Let's see, who else? Ophi Spider-Verse. I got a tarantula from them. My Arizona Blonde Margot. Russ has sent me a bunch of stuff. He's about to send me more. Let's see. Eddie, Easy Eddie just sent me like 4 species of isopod. And oh my God, I'm straight up blanking. One of the guys that does the, holy cow, I have their business card here. One of the guys that does the, that's not it. It's here somewhere. It does springtails. One of the new guys, not new guys, but one of the young guys that does the springtails just sent me 4 colonies, basically like 2 oranges, a lavender, and a Thai red. I'll come up with the name as soon as I click off of the show. But yeah, a bunch of people that I've interviewed have sent me bugs. So, and that's been nice. That's been really nice of them. They didn't have to do that. But yeah, some people just ask for my address and something will show up at my door, and it's like, don't send live stuff just randomly to someone's house. And in a better note, don't just give out your address. It wasn't Ryan. It wasn't Ryan Pavey. It was somebody else, and I can't. Oh my God, I'm the worst person. I don't remember. I had their card right here because I was looking at it the other day. I want to say something like Family Inverts or Family. So is this it? Yeah, Stella Springtails. That was it. Stella Springtails. I can't remember the name. Yep, Austin. Yep, Austin. Thank you. Thank you, Tennyson. I think I met them through you, actually. Yeah. Austin is awesome. So Ryan's awesome too. Speaking of Ryan, he's our second show sponsor. So if you go over to Springtails US, I'm going to put the link in the down there part. You can type in all caps ISO Buddies at checkout, and that will get you 10% off your order. So everything but shipping. Shipping is not discounted. But no, Austin's not super young. He's not. He's not really young. So I guess young at heart. So but yeah, so Ryan Pavey with US Springtails, he is a sponsor of the show. We get a little kickback. We haven't really discussed what that is yet, but a little bit of that money goes to the show. You get 10% off. It's great. It's a good deal for everybody. So he's got Springtails and Springtail adjacent stuff like his clay, his top shelf, his clay mix. He's really supportive. He's just a great guy. So young guy, knows his stuff, very knowledgeable, definitely willing to help you out if you have questions. We fully support him. We're going to do a business feature. I have to send him the questions. So I haven't had a chance to do that. Like I said, it's been kind of crazy around here. But yeah, he's hooking it up. So go over there and check him out. He's got, I don't even know how many species. This isn't like an official sponsor commercial yet. I really want to do my research and get his stuff out there. Because he's one of those sellers that I just believe in, you know. What millipedes did I get? I got some smoky oaks. I like the size of them and how chill they are. Springtails.us. Yeah, the link will be down there. Thanks, Justin. And what else did I get? Some bumblebees and some scarlets, I think. No, I didn't get scarlets. I got like 6 bumblebees and 2 smoky oaks. And the smoky oaks lived about forever. And then one had a mismolt, I think, and died. I didn't know much about flake soil back then. I didn't really pack my soil. I was giving them like zucchini here and there. This was like 3 years ago. So that information was out there, but it wasn't like it is even now. Like 3 years ago, it was a different world. Or 4 years, I think it was 4 years ago. It was before the show. The millipedes predated the show. So, yeah, the millipedes lived about 6 months to a year. And those are really easy ones, and I just couldn't keep them alive. But again, my substrate mix was for isopods, basically, and not for these guys. So I'm better prepared now, but I'm just a little, nervous about it, right? Because I haven't kept them successfully yet. But I definitely would like to, because I think they're just millipedes are just cool. They're so derpy, and so having them on you and watching those legs go is just so cool. Being able to tell where that missing leg is for the males is a crazy skill. I always look for the saddle, but they don't all have that, so you have to look for that leg. And once you see the motion, that's where you see it. Like, you'll look at them if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't know millipedes. So the male, the 7th section back, I think, the 7th set of legs is missing in the males out of the whatever 100 legs that they have, 100 pairs. So the 7th one, I believe, 7th or 8th, is missing. And people say that like, oh, okay, yeah, that's nothing. But the saddle ones have like a humpback, basically. And so their gonads are basically here. So when you see them wrestling and there's goo, they're not eating each other. I thought they were and pulled them apart and killed one of them doing that. Velvet millipedes? I don't even know what you're talking about, Leia. Other people have been looking into too much high maintenance. Some of them are high maintenance. I mean, if you get the flake soil and you get everything sorted, you're probably good to go. Like, it's not a big deal. So once you get the substrate going, you're good to go. That's all they need, substrate and a moisture level. So if you have that flake soil situation in your life, you'll be fine. I've never heard of velvet millipedes either. Are you talking about the feather ones? You don't need flake soil for most. Yeah, maybe you don't need it, Josh, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to give them, like, to be up on it like that. Care for them like twice a month once set up. Yeah. Millipedes are super easy. Like I said, once you get that substrate and you get all that stuff in there, I need to get more leaves myself. I'm out of leaves now. I've used up my last soaked ones, and that's all I did was use soaked ones. So all the ones that are dry in their enclosures are just sitting there dry. They use them for cover. Yeah, you want to have the tubs pretty deep too, right? Like at least as deep as they are long. Mackenzielidae springtails. Mackenzielidae. There you go. I think that's it, actually. Mackenzielidae. I wouldn't be surprised to have a customer at the bank walk in tomorrow with that name. I won't be there. I'm going to be at the shed. Velvet worms. Velvet worms have legs. Velvet worms have legs, Leah. Yeah, I would love to get velvet worms too. Kevin makes it look so easy, and he and his friend are like the only two that have had real success. But they talk about how easy it is, and I know a bunch of people who have failed with them already, and they're not cheap. So getting started on them, I like how prehistoric they are. They're just like, I don't know if they've ever been fossilized, but they are like living fossils because they are billions of years old. Maybe not billions, tens of millions. Tens of millions, probably. Top tier millipede, easy plus big. Yeah, I could see that. Ivories. I think ivories would be the next one I get. They're about as big as I want, and they're really chill. Those have not been kept in captivity yet. Tennyson spitting knowledge. What about you guys? What are some of your dream species that you would want to keep? Cool low maintenance pets. I already keep some isopods and springtails so far. Dart frogs are not low maintenance, dude. Dart frogs are not low maintenance. If you saw the Opeula shrimp that I showed off earlier, they are the most low maintenance pet, I think, that anyone could ever get. So you set up a tank with brackish water, basically, so half the salt that you would need for a salt water. No filter, no bubbler, no heater, no nothing. Just water and sand. You want to have I use the crushed coral because it has calcium in it. They need the calcium, and you need to give it about a month. You need to give that tank about a month under light for some algae to grow and some like tiny copepods. And then you throw the shrimp in. That's it. And then once a month or so, you throw in like a tiny little shrimp pellet, depending on how many you have. So I do a half of a algae wafer, a small algae wafer a month, or some of the shrimp pellets. And I have there's a ton on the glass right now. There's at least 40 in there, and there's a pack of babies in there now. Dream species would be any of the biped species and giant African land. Dude, everyone I know wants a giant African land snail, and they just are so crazy. Major scuds? Major scuds. Fart frogs. I'm going to blame my farts on fart frogs from now on. My daughter will think that's really funny. Scuds are easy. They need a bubbler, though. And in my experience, they need a bubbler. Sea monkeys, kind of easy. They're cheap. Dart frog peoples are... God, this is a bad generalization, but dart frog peoples. Dart frog people are such jerks. They're so high strung about dart frogs. They might be the most chill people in the world until you mention dart frogs, and then they freak out about something. They'll go on a tirade about like dusting your fruit flies or what kind of water you use, like spring water versus RO water or whatever. They have everybody has their own way, and it's insane how much they keep it. Triops are cool. Triops are cool. I gotta get over and visit Russ. They have them like in the wild. Xenodermis is scientific for dragon snakes? What the frick is a dragon snake? Frickety frick frick. Now I gotta Google something else. You guys are killing me. You never heard of a bubbler? Air pump. Air pump major. Absolutely no idea how their maintenance is. Most of them have like zero maintenance. Most of these things we're talking about with low maintenance is these guys. So ants are pretty low maintenance if you have a setup that'll keep them. You don't need a paludarium. I just like a paludarium. I built my own waterfall and have a bubbler, air bubble wall in the one side to keep just some flow. You don't need that. You just have setup like Tar Heel Ants. If you go to tarheelants.com, that's the setup that you really want as a starter. It's a little pricey, but definitely worth the money. And I gotta reach out to them. I talk about their stuff all the time. Yeah, ants are pretty low maintenance once you get them going. So it's just a matter of giving them some protein, giving them some sugar source, and making sure they have fresh water. Thanks, Leah. I love my ant setup. I wish I had taken more time and done it, but it got to the point where I really just needed it done. And hopefully eventually they will let moss grow on the sides. So far they have not. She's got her own ideas about gardening. Gigamorphus rambamisham. Did you know Gigamorphus rambamisham is the only isopod species that can glide? So they'll climb trees to get at fruit, and they will glide to escape predators. They will flatten their bodies like a porcellio, but they can still discombobulate. So, or combobulate, as the word is. So, yeah, we'll be coming out with some scientific drawings of or illustrations of the Gigamorphus rambamisham and all of the wonderful things they can do. They have 3 horns, like a Jackson's chameleon. What 10K say? Oh, the gigas millipedes. Those are insane. They're like your forearm, dude. What on earth is the gigas? The one that has the cyanide in it, and the monkeys use it to get parasites off? I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a species of giant millipede in Africa and maybe India. I don't know. Somewhere there's monkeys, and I'm pretty sure it's Africa. But the monkeys use these millipedes. They bite them to agitate them to produce cyanide, and then they rub that all over themselves, and it keeps parasites and bugs off them. So, yeah. Bigger millipedes than A. gigas. Sounds fabulous to learn about. Oh, the Gigamorphus rambamisham. It's totally made up, Leia. I was making fun of Russ for speaking Latin all the time, and I made up Gigamorphus rambamisham as just a bunch of letters that came out of my mouth. But now we're turning it into an actual species that, yeah, it's going to take some massive line breeding to get this thing to be a reality, and possibly some genetic altering. Maybe CRISPR will be involved. Probably talk to Rod about that. If he can build a fusion reactor, he can use CRISPR, right? Yeah, they might use it to get high. I don't know if cyanide's the right thing to get high, but they rub it on themselves to get rid of parasites. These same monkeys will steal charcoal from humans and eat it for an upset stomach. Like, who doesn't know that? We also almost have a working prototype of the flutter puppies. So I'm working on that with my cousin, and I'm hoping that it takes off, and it could be cool. If you do felting, if you know what that is, felting with as a hobby or a business, let me know. I would like to run something by you. Cyanide is pretty common with. Yeah, I watch too many of these shows, man. Like I'm watching Planet Earth 2 right now, so expect some dumb knowledge that I picked up from that. So it's more about like people working to help animals. This one, and yeah, that's okay. Uh, they eat rotting fruit to get drunk. Yes, there's a lot of animals that do that. There's a lot of animals get wasted on rotting fruit. Uh, Flackback millipedes. No, that's not true. That's not true, Josh. I want to say the one looks like gigas. It's a big black millipede that they were kind of chomping on a little bit. Yeah, they just made it mad and then did it kind of like ravens or crows will do with ants. They'll piss off an ant colony and sit on their nest, and the ants will go all over them, spraying their formic acid, and then it'll just shake off the ants, and it gets rid of mites that are on their feathers. So yeah, giant desert centipede, almost a foot long. Frick that. Oh, okay, so it was dying. Okay, he crushed its head, kind of got carried away and drenched it with hornet killer. Jesus, dude. All right, settle down. I mean, I hate centipedes, but damn. Lemurs go high by what? By playing with millipedes. That's wild. That is wild. Now the pet hornet, because one giant black one is locked in my bathroom. Well, enjoy that. You got those 2 new tanks, Coral. Like, throw them in there. See what happens. Hydrochloric acid. I thought it was cyanide. I didn't even know it was hydrochloric acid. That sounds like even worse. I don't. Why do so many animals? There's so much horrible shit that comes out of them. Communal centipedes. There's communal centipedes? Jesus. What I need felted is I came up with an idea for kind of a stuffed animal or a little like fluffy tchotchke that is insect related. I don't want to get back into it too much because I don't want to steal the idea before I go through it. But I would do the, I don't have the felting skill, so I would do the character design and have someone felt it for me, produce it, I guess. So kind of a partnership. That's my goal. That's my gift is I don't produce much. I have the idea, so that can help you produce it or make it better or problem solve. That I'm a problem solver or a I can't think of the word for this either. A contractor, right? Yeah, communal centipedes terrify me. Like, you guys know I'm scared of centipedes. Why are you bringing this up? I'm going with basic old lithobius. Lithobius. But want to get mutilans and some others. See, all that, it just comes right out of me. All that Italian. That's a bad sentence. I retract that sentence. Felted tarantulas would be awesome. You give a centipede some fruit, be right back. I love that you guys just run off to do a random chore for your animals and then come back and ask some question we answered 10 minutes ago. It's the best. Like, where's Beetle Guy? Like, he's supposed to be answering questions we already took care of. Or asking questions. The creepy factor of snakes and spiders, so they are the only creatures that give me the creeps. Yeah, I don't know if you saw our centipede episode that we finally had with that super smart dude. But yeah, they give death hugs. So I didn't know that those jaws or those pinchers were arms. So that's a death hug is what that is. They just love people too hard. Felted Northern. It's quilted, and it's my favorite thing in the world. There's all kinds of crazy things at that ranch, but my friend said he'd never seen a giant centipede before. I mean, it's Texas, right? So they're around. You're just not looking, because yeah, they're just not out. If I saw one in my house, I would tear my house apart to kill it. Like, there's no question. I'm sorry. I love animals. I wouldn't try to trap it and get it outside, because if it got in once, it could get in again. It's got to go. I live in Illinois. There's not much threat of that, but I am not a centipede fan. No, I am a fan of like letting things go outside, but nah, can't. Wait, Tennyson, they attacked that banana like you just put it in 3 seconds ago. You put it in 3 seconds ago and they're already attacking it. Like, that's too fast. That is too fast, my friend. Good Lord. Could be seeing giant Palo Verde beetles in Arizona soon. Dude, we didn't have June bugs this year. Last year was so cool. We had so many, and Sheila got That's probably how she got so big. His feet. I'm waiting for cicadas because I want to feed her cicadas because I hate cicadas. We are going to talk tonight. We were supposed to talk to, oh my God, I'm the worst. Blast Cat from Tennyson. Noah, I think his name is. His real name is Nate. We were going to talk to, and we're going to reschedule this. So we're going to talk to Blast Cat about, we're going to get more involved with some other things later. But this one, I wanted to talk about species that are, I don't want to say that we assume are useless, or there's no use for them, and maybe you're trying to eradicate them. But there is, in fact, uses for them. So we shouldn't be doing that. So case in point, just off the top of my head, like mosquitoes were one of them. So it seems like there's a lot of species right now that humanity is like, let's just get rid of them in 50 different ways. Let's find 50 different ways to just annihilate this species and extinct it on purpose. And they don't think about the ramifications of that. Nate. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to reschedule that. So next week, though, let's see. I have my planner, you guys. I'm all set. I'm in November. I don't have that much planned. Actually, I don't have anything planned for July, I don't think. This was the 27th. Where are we? We are in July. So next week, we are going to do a business feature, apparently. I need to schedule some more stuff. And then the week after that, we're going to do our fantasy thing on the 18th, our fantasy creature keeping. So we are going to talk with people about, or talk with Coral. Coral and I are going to talk about a few fantasy creatures that we have kept and husbandry and all that business. I'm putting quotes so nobody thinks I kept a dragon. In my weed dreams I have. But the weekend after that, or the week after that, we are going to talk to Ryan Pavey and Austin about Springtail Hobby Roundtable. We're going to do a Springtail Hobby Roundtable with, in my experience, two of the biggest names in the hobby right now. Two of my favorite names in the hobby of Springtails, which has gotten huge all of a sudden. So, yeah, Wally, you're a little late, but that's okay. We talked about you a little bit. Wally was one of my first guests, and one of my most frequent guests, and I'm blessed and honored for that distinction. I was asking everybody how they found the show, Wally, because some of the viewers, like, not only do I not deserve the awesome friends I have, like, I don't deserve the awesome audience that I have. Okay, I deserve you guys, but yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around that I have such quality people tuning in every week. Expect more shorts. Where the channel's going to go, we're going to expect more shorts. 99% of them are going to be Sheila related. There might be some other animals in my care, so probably I'm going to work on filming. Oh, thank you, Wally. That means so much. So that really, truly means a lot. I'm going to give Biggs a wedgie for you tomorrow, so I'll try to film it. So expect more shorts that are going to be on. Expect some videos. The business features are going to finally get going, so we're going to have, those will be pre-recorded, and we'll play those kind of a lot, actually. We're going to do some live stuff, like Ryan is now a sponsor, so we're going to do some mentioning of sponsors in the episodes. We're going to do more appreciation for patrons, because I just say, oh, I love you guys, and I do, but I need to do more. I need to do more to recognize the effort and generosity offered by these wonderful patrons. You can do it for $1, guys. Less than a cup of coffee a month. So I'm just saying, skip one Happy Meal or one coffee and support a great show that you love. It's a lot of fun to be here, so fork it over. No. But yeah, we're going to support the businesses that support the hobby and the keepers that support the hobby and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to that. And only through consent. We're going to do it through consent. And we're going to be very formulaic with it. So expect some of that too, because I want to, again, the community is the most important thing for me. And I think that right now, supporting the businesses and the community is going to be the biggest investment we can make. So Eggy Toast. Respected sirs. Man, you got the wrong channel there, Eggy. But hello to you. That's a new face, I think. Would you like to supersize that? Now I'm supporting IsoBuddy. or Supreme Gecko, or both. You can skip 2 Happy Meals. You'll lose weight. You'll be able to tune into our show with better lighting, hopefully, and you'll have the nice feeling in your heart that you're helping to support Wally and I afford a coffee that you skipped out on. No, again, this next 2 months more, I'm going to do another month, I think, but all the money that we get from Patreon is going to help people with medical costs in the Virgin Islands. So I know that's weird, but Carl Callwood, that has been a long time patron of the show, and he's the one that inspired my question of like, how did you find my show? Because he's like a legend to me, and he found me, and I didn't know he existed until he became a patron, and he was at the top tier, like $10 a month, which to me blows my mind that anyone would do that. So I don't give people $10 a month to patron anybody, but anyway. Carl's huge. If you haven't seen the episode with him, it's Mandal Bay. It's awesome. But he's involved in a charity now that is, he lives in the Virgin Islands, involved in a charity that's helping these people. They're not technically American, so they don't get the benefit of the America Cares Act, so the Obamacare, as you want to call it. So they don't have cheap insurance. Their insurance is kind of like from thegeneral.com or Eagle Man, if you're old enough to remember Eagle Man. I've got something for you. And then he shits an egg onto their car. Coconut fiber baskets of my hanging pots started growing moss in them. Rod, that's kind of cool, actually. Like, I don't know of another group that would be excited about that, but yeah, buy Wally a coffee. Go do that mess. YouTuber through Mercy or anything is Aquarium Mercy. So here's the deal, guys. I'm gonna lay out Patreon for you because I was against it too. I was like, this is dumb. I didn't want to do it on the show. I was like, this is like begging for money. And then a couple people, I'm not going to name names, but a couple people that have patrons or buy me a coffee or whatever that thing is, explained it to me in a different way. So what it is we're offering entertainment. Like, you guys are coming here, for an hour a week, basically, hour and a half a week. Whether you're here live or not, you're enjoying the show. Yeah, clearly, you're enjoying it, you're watching it. So it's kind of like we're offering you entertainment. And you don't expect anything in return, but it's nice. Like, there is a value for the money that you're giving. If you need to justify it, there's a value there. It's not just like I'm out on the street corner with a sign, which honestly is how I used to look at it. Like, I'm panhandling on the internet, basically. But we provide anybody you would give it to on the internet. If you're turning in every week, you're getting something out of it. So that justifies the act of giving to a little bit of it. We are going to make merch. We are going to do merch too. So I still have to finalize that with Luch Carlucci. So yeah, if you're on the fence about supporting anyone on Patreon that you follow every week, like, it doesn't have to be me. I'm not putting that out there. Do it. Like, you're following them. You're watching them. You're enjoying their content. You're getting recipes for fish salad from them or whatever, meatball salad. Apparently that's a thing. So yeah, hook them up, take care of them a little bit. Yeah, I guess a street performer. If you watch the same street performer every week for an hour and a half or an hour, or one of Wally's 30 videos he puts out a week, I don't know where he finds the time or energy to do all of it, but it's awesome. It's awesome and inspiring to watch. But yeah, go ahead, support somebody. So again, it doesn't have to be me by any means, but support somebody that you watch every week, right? But honestly, for me, in all honesty, the support of a like and a subscribe or a share on a video is more than enough for me. Speaking of which, if you're watching this and you're not live and you haven't yet, if you're, what was that guy's name? Eggy Toast. Maybe you've subscribed already, Eggy. I don't know. If you haven't, like and subscribe. So that's it. Guys, this was great. Information exchange is worth a coffee. Yeah, see? So I think so. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I have tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I just missed you. I was going to take another week off, but I just missed you guys. Again, we're going to, you know what? Next week, we're going to do that. We're going to put out a video with the film that I'm going to do tomorrow with Biggs. So, and then Wally, I'm going to be messaging you after this episode a little bit. I have a chore to do, but then after that, I'm going to be messaging you. Wally skits are definitely worth a coffee. Like, if I did more skits, I would be up at Wally's level. Like, oh my God. It's still the funniest moment ever on this show, or one of the funniest moments in my life when he came out to Poppin' Tags. I don't know if you saw, I had tears, literal tears. I couldn't control myself. It broke me. So, yeah, it destroyed me for a good 20 minutes on the show. I couldn't recover. So, and then days later, I thought about it and would like break out laughing. So definitely, yeah, check out Supreme Gecko videos because they are too funny and very informative. So, yeah. Anyway, anyone know who Red Green is? Awful. Yeah, guys, I'll talk to you next week. Well, it won't be live next week, but I might do another chat. So, and we are going to have, yeah, that first 5 minutes, that episode is great. So next Tuesday, though, we're going to have a pre-filmed, our first official business feature is going to be aired next Tuesday. And then probably after, I'll just do another live chat like this. Go to ISO Buddies Facebook or here in the comments and let me know what you want to talk about. It'll just be us, okay? Just very intimate, just me, you, 7 other people. That's hot, right? Yeah, but show up next week and at least watch that video, the little business feature, because again, it's another community thing. I want to give back to the community that just has given so much to me. So, green eggs and ham. I'm so lost. I'm so red, green eggs and ham. Keep your stick on the ice. Oh wait, that's a hockey reference. Okay. Yeah. The ladies don't find you handsome. They sure don't. One did. That's all I need. So one's all you need. So there's a quote for you. One's all you need. Let me know where that's from. But if you know where that's from, good for you. Good for you. I love you. Leave it in the comments. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share. Love you guys. If you're down with it, Patreon. If not, keep coming. I don't care. Love it. So they should at least find you handy. Handy. All right, guys. Peace out, and I will see you next week. And tomorrow, wish me luck. I'm going to have a lot of fun. So